That night, Ethan worked late in his study. Contracts and numbers filled his dual monitors. Milo, his orange tabby cat, jumped on the desk. The cat almost never interrupted him while he worked. Something was wrong. Milo's tail flicked with urgency. His golden eyes stared toward the hallway. Ethan noticed his unusual behavior. He pushed his chair back. "What's up, buddy?" he asked softly. Milo jumped off the desk and trotted away. Ethan followed, curiosity replacing his focus. They passed the kitchen. Milo stopped near the back door. The garage lights gleamed underneath the door frame. Ethan frowned. He hadn't been in the garage since Sunday. The lights shouldn't be on. The door was slightly ajar. A cold air escaped through the gap. Ethan felt a chill race through him. Voices drifted through the silence. Soft. Rhythmic. Intimate. His pulse spiked instantly. He recognized Amanda's voice. But the tone wasn't meant for him. Another voice answered her. A man's voice. Confident. Cocky. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Without thinking, he grabbed the flashlight near the door. Milo stayed close by, tail low. Ethan pushed the door open. There, under the bright garage lights, he saw her. Amanda. Her dress hiked up indecently. Her back arched over his restored BMW. Lucas Bennett was behind her. Laughing. Moaning. Completely unaware. A once sacred space now defiled. A 4-year project, now their playground. They didn't hear Ethan step inside. 10 seconds felt like a lifetime. Ethan's world imploded. Everything blurred, except the two bodies moving on his car. He flipped the garage lights off and back on. A sharp click. A blinding shift. Both froze mid-motion. Amanda's eyes widened as she spun around. Lucas stumbled back, scrambling for his clothes. No one spoke. Ethan's voice was eerily calm. "Having fun?" he asked. Amanda's face twisted. Not into shame, but irritation. "Jesus, Ethan, you scared me," she huffed. "It's not what it looks like." Ethan's stare was ice. "It looks exactly like what it is." Lucas puffed his chest like a defensive peacock. "These things happen between adults," he said. Ethan barely blinked. Adults with no morals, maybe. Amanda scoffed. "Oh, get over yourself," she snapped. "We were just having fun." She kicked off the hood and adjusted her dress. "You were working. I was bored." Ethan felt bile rise, but held control. "You live in my house," he said quietly. "Sleep in my bed, eat my food, spend my money." Amanda rolled her eyes. "There it is. Your house, your money. You sound like a broken record." Lucas smirked and put his arm around her. "She deserves someone exciting," he said. Ethan didn't move. But something inside him snapped. "You both need to leave," he said evenly. "Now." Amanda crossed her arms. "Make me," she sneered. Milo meowed softly. The silence after was violent. That night, Ethan learned betrayal wasn't just a wound. It was a transformation. The hours after they left felt surreal. Ethan sat in the garage, staring at the scratches on his BMW. Milo curled near his leg, as if guarding him. Ethan's heart was shattered, but his mind sharpened. He would not be their victim. He wouldn't scream or beg. He would understand, then destroy. The next morning, Ethan gathered everything. Emails. Bank records. Shared accounts. He opened Amanda's laptop. She always left it unlocked. Within minutes, he found a folder. Future planning. Inside, screenshots of his bank accounts. Notes about his assets. Details about his investment portfolios. Every account number. Every password she'd gotten from him, accidentally. Even his retirement funds. Her messages were worse. text threads with her friends. So easy to manipulate. He buys everything. He's a boring ATM in human form. Ethan swallowed rage. Another folder. Wedding strategy. Plans for an $85,000 party, all on his tab. Notes about post-marriage access to assets. She never intended to stay married. She planned the divorce already. She even listed alimony as bonus income. It wasn't just cheating. It was robbery by romance. Then came the real twist. Messages between Amanda and Lucas. Lucas wrote, "Squeeze him a little longer. The guy is loaded." Amanda replied, "Can't wait until I drain him and walk away in style." Lucas added, "Then we can use your money to invest. You and me, baby." Ethan's jaw tightened. No remorse. Only greed. He dug deeper. Amanda's email was synced to her shared school drive. He found photos from study sessions. Her clothes didn't match studying. Neither did the hotel rooms in the background. And then a goldmine. Her academic record. The business school's strict honor code, highlighted in her inbox. She even forwarded policies about expulsion for unethical behavior. Perfect. Lucas wasn't spared either. Ethan searched his name online. Found his LinkedIn. Senior analyst at a private firm. A family business. He dug more. Court filings, SEC whisperings. The Bennetts were already under slight scrutiny. One anonymous tip could shake the tree. Ethan formulated a plan. He downloaded everything. Emails, images, texts, account logs. He saved them to 3 USB drives. One for his lawyer. One for the authorities. One for insurance. By noon, he had locked Amanda out of all accounts. By evening, he had spoken to his bank, his attorney, and a trusted friend in cybersecurity. Passwords were reset. Locks rekeyed. Amanda's spending privileges revoked. She hadn't even noticed yet. But soon she would. As Ethan closed his laptop, Milo jumped into his lap. The cat's purr hummed like complete approval. Ethan whispered, "They thought I was weak." He smirked. They have no idea who they messed with. Ethan woke up with a clear mission. Amanda would discover what real consequences looked like. Before noon, he was at his lawyer's office. He explained everything with evidence in hand. His lawyer nodded slowly as she scrolled through the files. "You have a case for fraud, theft, and harassment," she confirmed. Ethan didn't smile. He just nodded. The next step was financial surgery. He called every bank. Closed shared accounts. Reissued cards. Flagged Amanda's name for potential fraud. Then he visited the storage facility on 5th Street. He rented a medium-sized unit. He moved every one of Amanda's belongings, neatly packed into it. He even labeled the boxes. Clothes, makeup, school, travel. Everything. He taped the access key beneath the payment kiosk. He stopped by a hardware store next. New locks, new security cameras. By evening, his house was Ethan-proof. By night, it was Amanda-proof. The sparkle of revenge was just beginning. He drafted a letter. Notice to vacate. Delivered via certified mail. That same night, he went digital. He used to burn her email. He contacted Amanda's MBA program anonymously. Attached her chat logs. Screenshots of her bragging about financial manipulation. Photos of her cheating with Lucas. Not just poor behavior. Violation of the institution's honor code. He hit send. He sent a second email to the dean directly. Subject line: academic misconduct by students. Attached, PDF with every cold fact. No emotion. No slander. Just truth, time-stamped and overwhelming. Then came Lucas. Ethan typed again. This time, SEC tip submission. Using their secure portal, he documented private deals tied to Lucas's family firm. He linked them to offshore shell corporations. He attached records and context. It took hours, but Ethan didn't blink. He wasn't just settling scores. He was setting fire to their futures. The next morning, Amanda tried entering the house. Her key didn't work. She knocked, then pounded. Ethan watched from the doorbell camera. He let it ring. She screamed about rights and property. He opened the app and spoke through the speaker. "Your belongings are in Unit 203 at 5th Storage," he said. "You have until end of month." She screamed and threw her phone. Lucas showed up an hour later. He spat on the porch. Ethan recorded it all. Evidence for a restraining order. He saved every clip. Every word. He wasn't emotional anymore. Just precise. That night, Ethan sat in his living room. He sipped whiskey. Milo curled beside him. Within 2 days, Amanda's school emailed her, disciplinary hearing. Within 3 days, Lucas's family business faced a sudden investigation. The dominoes had fallen. And Ethan just watched. The university acted faster than expected. Amanda received a formal email. Academic integrity, panel scheduled. She was mandated to attend. She arrived in heels and attitude. She left in tears and disgrace. Expelled for misconduct. Her record flagged permanently. No reputable school would touch her now. Ethan received confirmation. Anonymous tip appreciated. He smiled faintly. Meanwhile, Lucas faced bigger waves. The SEC filed a preliminary inquiry. His family's firm was subpoenaed for documents. The elder Bennetts were furious. They connected the sudden scrutiny to Lucas's behavior. "You've jeopardized everything," his father yelled in their office. Lucas protested, but blame had already shifted. The family's assets were frozen. Investments stalled. Transactions suspended under review. Lucas went from penthouse to panic. He called Amanda for comfort. She was sobbing in a cheap motel room. "I thought this was our plan," she cried. "Our plan," Lucas muttered coldly. "Your sugar daddy ruined everything." Amanda realized then she had lost both worlds. No degree. No rich fiancé. No money. Just a storage unit and a mistake. Ethan's lawyer followed up on the fraud case. Amanda was summoned to court. Charges: identity fraud, unauthorized access, and theft. Her mugshot made the local news. Ethan read the article over coffee. He felt nothing, just closure. Lucas tried selling his Porsche. It was repossessed first. He tried using savings. They were tied up in federal paperwork. He tried calling his rich friends. Their lawyers told them to avoid him. He slept on a friend's couch. 1 week later, the friend kicked him out. Too risky. Too toxic. Amanda found work at a retail store. $12 an hour. She folded clothes and cried in dressing rooms. Her nails chipped. Her hair faded. Customers rolled eyes at her name tag. Lucas delivered food in an old Honda. People barely tipped. Rain soaked him on bad days. He ate cheap sandwiches at gas stations. His hoodie smelled of hopelessness. Every night, he texted Amanda in bitterness. "This is your fault." She replied once. "We did this to ourselves." Ethan drove past their old street one afternoon. Calm, confident. His BMW's paint gleamed brighter than ever. Milo purred from the passenger seat. The sun reflected peace on Ethan's face. His scars healed without bitterness. The justice was clean. And every lesson was earned. It was a quiet February evening. Ethan was cooking dinner, Milo circling his legs. The doorbell rang suddenly. Milo froze, ears alert. Ethan checked the door camera. 2 figures stood in the cold. Amanda and Lucas. They looked nothing like before. Amanda's once-styled hair was greasy and limp. Her coat was cheap, frayed, borrowed. Lucas's eyes were sunken, his jaw unshaven and tense. Ethan opened the door, but kept the chain locked. He said nothing. He waited. Amanda burst into tears instantly. "Ethan, please, we need your help." Her voice cracked. Her pride was dead. Lucas stood behind her, ashamed but desperate. "Everything's gone," Amanda continued. "They're sending me to prison. I can't survive it, Ethan." She clutched her chest like her heart was breaking. Ethan watched calmly. "You forged my name. You stole from me." Amanda nodded, trembling. "I know, and I'm so sorry." Lucas stepped forward. "I was wrong too. We both were. We ruined your life, we know that." Ethan raised an eyebrow. My life is better now," he said. He wasn't mocking, just truthful. Lucas swallowed hard. "Please, man, just talk to someone, the judge, the investigator, anyone." Amanda sobbed. "I don't care about the money. Just save me from prison. I'll do anything. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll go back to you. I was stupid. You were the only real thing I ever had." Ethan almost laughed. "You only came back when your options died." Her silence was answer enough. Lucas tried again. "You've won. Isn't that enough? You destroyed both our lives. You're the victor, okay? Let this end." Ethan shook his head slowly. "You still don't understand. This isn't about winning. It's about justice, about truth. You chose greed. You chose betrayal. And now the consequences are yours alone." Amanda's tears turned frantic. Her hands banged against the door. "I'm pregnant," she screamed. Silence froze the air. Lucas's head jerked in shock. Ethan didn't flinch. "That's not possible. I had a vasectomy years ago." Shock splintered across Amanda's face. Lucas stared at her, betrayed in an instant. "You said you were on birth control," he whispered. Her lie cracked the last bridge. Lucas stepped back, disgusted. Amanda collapsed to her knees. "Please, I have nothing left." Ethan paused. He breathed in deeply. "I do hope you learn from this," he said finally. "Because everything you've lost was never really yours." He closed the door. The chain slid into place. Outside, their cries faded into the cold. Inside, Milo jumped into Ethan's lap. The fire crackled. Peace returned. 3 months later, the court made its ruling. Amanda was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Fraud, forgery, identity theft. It was written in black and white. Her hands trembled as the cuffs clicked. Her eyes searched for Ethan in the courtroom. He wasn't there. Lucas's decline was even steeper. His family business dissolved under federal pressure. Assets seized. Licenses revoked. His father issued one public statement. "We disown Lucas Bennett due to criminal misconduct." No money. No legacy. Lucas applied for dozens of jobs. No one called back. His resume was stained. He drove for food delivery apps. But one night, his old Honda finally died. He couldn't afford the repairs. He took the bus with quiet shame. Meanwhile, Ethan thrived. His work output doubled. He signed a 7-figure real estate deal. A promotion to managing partner soon followed. He bought a vintage Rolex he once denied himself. He gifted himself a vacation in Italy. Milo stayed with a trusted friend. Ethan walked ancient streets in Florence. He breathed in clean, quiet air. He journaled about resilience. He toasted to closure with red wine. Amanda sent him one letter from prison. She begged for forgiveness, almost poetic in regret. He never replied. He kept the letter in a drawer, unread. Lucas sent an email. "I'm moving out of state. I can't stay here anymore. Ethan archived it without comment. The past was gone. The lesson remained. Back home, Ethan upgraded his garage security. He refinished the BMW's hood, polished it to perfection. Every shine felt like healing. Milo lounged in the driveway. The sun warmed his orange fur. Ethan smiled at the sight. The cat had saved everything without knowing it. Some days, Ethan would think back. Not with anger, but gratitude. The heartbreak forged him stronger. The betrayal sharpened his vision. The justice restored his balance. He took nothing for granted now. Love wasn't assumed, it was earned. And wealth wasn't flaunted, it was protected. On his 32nd birthday, Ethan threw a small party. Only close friends attended. No social butterflies. No gold diggers. Just real people. They laughed in his living room. Milo sat like a king in the center. Ethan raised his glass and said this softly. To losing what never mattered. To gaining what lasts. No one asked what he meant. But Milo blinked, almost like he understood. Ethan closed his journal one last time. It was filled with lessons written in pain and triumph. He looked around his home. Everything was in its place again. Silent. Peaceful. He wasn't the same man who loved blindly. He was wiser now. Stronger. He'd learned to trust actions, not words. To value loyalty over beauty. Milo curled up beside him on the couch. The cat purred like a quiet song of victory. Ethan chuckled softly. This is enough, he whispered. No more chaos. No more lies. Just truth. And peace. He knew someday love might return. But he wouldn't rush it. What was broken had been rebuilt. Not with someone else, but within himself. And that, he realized, was the real ending.